Welcome to the Insights channel. Today we are very honored because we have a very special guest with us. We are receiving Sister Usha, respectfully called Usha Didi. Usha Didi is a senior Raja Yoga meditation teacher and a management trainer of the Brahma Kumaris. She's based at the global headquarters in Abu Road, Rajasthan, India, and she has conducted through research on the great epics of India like Ramayana and Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and has created a very unique presentation, the first of its kind in the world. She also wrote 2 books, one of them about self-management in English as well as in Hindi. And you can find the links to all the videos and YouTube channel and the books that she has been producing in the last years in the description of this video if you want to follow up and if you want to know more. Sister Usha has also participated in many conferences and seminars at the national and international levels, emphasizing the importance of spiritual values. So, welcome, Sister Usha, and it's our pleasure really to have you here with us to speak.
Thank you.
You have been in Brazil some years ago, so I'm sure that for some people it's going to be a nice opportunity to see you again. And I would like to start our conversation today speaking a little bit about all this research that you have been doing on the main scriptures in India. We know that the Gita is one of the most important scriptures, not just in India, but in the entire world. It's very well known in Brazil as well.
Yes.
And it's been an old scripture. It has been written many years ago. So my question to you is based in your studies and your discoveries. What is the relevance of this scripture in our modern world? For the complexity of the situations that we have to face nowadays, which are very different, I believe, from the setup, the situations of the world in the time the scripture was written. So what is the relevance of it for us nowadays?
Actually, the scriptures, as far as I have understood, they have been written for the present times only. Because during those days, there were no such big problems. But I would like to compare it with that, as it is said that 500 years ago in France, there was Nostradamus. And he saw the future world in a globe. And he wrote what is going to come up. But he wrote it in a very poetic and very complicated language that till today, when human beings go through it, they can hardly understand. Only after the situations occur, or whenever the events come up, that people start relating to those predictions of Nostradamus and say, yes, this was said by Nostradamus. Similarly, in India, there were certain great rishis, I would say, those great saints who were doing so much of meditation, and some of them had these powers to go into the transcendental stage. And when they went into the transcendental stage, 5,000 years ago, they were able to see the world today, how it would be like. And that is why they did not just mention what is going to come up like Nostradamus, but they gave the solutions as well. But hardly people are able to relate those with the present time and understand the solutions also. Otherwise, the scriptures were not meant for those days. It is said that some 500 years ago or 200 years ago also, everyone in the society, they lived like a family. Especially in India also, there was this family culture even in a village where people used to believe and take one another with this sense that they are brothers and sisters. There was this fraternity. Although there were no materialistic comforts that we have in today's age, but still there was love, there was respect, there was values. So when the scriptures were written, those saints who used to go into the transcendental stage, and they were able to see the future in the transcendental stage, they wrote down in form of scriptures and alerting human beings that what they would need in their times to overcome all the challenges. So actually, Bhagavad Gita, which was written 5,000 years ago from today, and it is connected with the Mahabharat war. And the whole scripture is also known as Mahabharat, and Gita is a part of Mahabharat, where it is written in a form of a story. I would give an example that just as if I want to explain a small child or some small children about the value of truth, and I want to tell them, look, children, you don't speak lies, speak truth. But if I get up every day in the morning and start giving them advice, speak the truth, never speak lies, maybe they may not understand the importance of it. But if I create a story in my mind, and in that story, I take one character which is always adhering to truth, and another character who's adhering to speaking lies, even for small reasons, no reasons. And then I relate in that story how the path for those who are speaking lies, those who are taking the support of lies, may be easy. And the path for the one who is following the truth, maybe it may be difficult. But in the end, who is going to win? And then I explain in that story how there are so many challenges coming on the path of the one who is following the truth, and the ones who are following the path of falsehood, they are enjoying each and every moment. And this person is trying to struggle and trying to be on its path of truthfulness. And then ultimately, a time comes when truth is victorious and false is the loser. So if I put this in a form of a story, those children may be able to understand what I'm trying to tell them. And then they may take inspiration from that story. And if in their life a time comes where they have to make a choice to adopt the path of truthfulness or to adopt the path of falsehoodness, and they remember that story and they feel, let us take the path of truthfulness. They are well prepared. There may be many challenges. There may be many problems. There may be, the road may be very difficult. But ultimately, they are the ones who are going to be victorious. So looking at the final result of victory, they take this inspiration from the story and they take up the path of truthfulness and start following that path. They are mentally prepared. Yes, there will be challenges. There will be so many obstacles. There may be so many test papers that will come on the way. But ultimately, they're going to be the winner. Because God is truth. And He loves the truth. So from that story, when they really experience that victory in the end, just imagine how happy they may feel. And they will all be celebrating that happiness of victory. The same thing. Those saints, when they saw in that transcendental stage what the future world would be like, so they put it in a form of a story of Mahabharata or Ramayana. And when they put it in the form of the Mahabharata, then they took up some characters. Those characters are the ones who we practically see in the practical form, not with those names, but with those characters, with those characteristics in life, with those actions. And then what happens ultimately, that there are many challenges. There are maybe some times when they really have to struggle. They have to undergo a warlike situation also. But ultimately, when God is by their side, they become the winners. They become victorious. So those saints also try to explain us on the basis of this story. They thought that maybe the future people who may be very intelligent, and they will be able to understand that these scriptures are not just scriptures. They're not some things that need to be followed, but it is connected to their lives. But modern intellectual human being, they thought, oh, it was of the past. And so they could never relate it in their present life. And they could not understand. And that is how they followed the path of body consciousness. They followed the path of evils. They followed the path of ego, anger. All this is mentioned. All this is mentioned in the scriptures. But because they were not able to relate it with themselves, their lives, so they are not able to find the solution. And day by day, the situation is becoming worse and worse for them.
Very, very clear and very, very interesting. No? And anyway, you just mentioned about the different characters which are depicted in the scripture. And we know that one of the main characters in the Gita is Krishna, who for many people is also known as God. So according with your understanding, who is the God of the Gita?
Now they have mentioned the name Krishna. And the literal meaning of Krishna means, the literal meaning is the most attractive one, the most beautiful one. So when human beings, just as when we were small children, and even nowadays in some company communication programs, they have this exercise that they call one person and they tell a story to that one person, which he has to go and tell in the ears of the second one. The second one will mention to the third one. The third one will go to the fourth one. And till the 10th person, the whole story changes. We all know that. In communication gaps, this story or this exercise is being done even in company programs today. Similarly, when the great saints wrote the scripture, because it was the message they received was from the transcendental, in the transcendental stage, so they were asked, who gave you this understanding? Who gave you the whole knowledge? So then they said, oh, he was so attractive, so beautiful. The one who was like attracting us constantly. And the people gradually, from generations to generations, the people of today's world could only think that he was Sri Krishna, because he is the most beautiful one. Because they are in body conscious, they could only think of a bodily being. And that is why they thought it was Sri Krishna. But nowhere in Gita it is mentioned Sri Krishna speaks. It is always mentioned God speaks. And so there are two Krishna. One is the Sri Krishna in the bodily form, which is so beautiful, so attractive, which attracts people. And the other is the light, the divine light, which is universally accepted by all the religions of the world, because God would speak for all of his children, not just for Hindus, not just for Indians, not just for Bharatvasis, but his message would definitely be for each and every human being on this earth. So that God, which was so beautiful, so attractive, is that light. Normally, when people are in darkness and when they see a light, they are always pulled and attracted towards that light. They have hope. If they are stuck somewhere in darkness and they see a ray of light, they're all attracted. They move towards that light. They have that hope. Oh, there is something where we can get help from, and they're attracted. So similarly, in today's world, the saints saw when there is complete darkness of ignorance. During that time, that supreme light descends. And that supreme light is such a divine light, which is so attractive, so beautiful, so luminous, which is the ray of hope for all human beings. And they are attracted from the darkness towards that light. So actually, it was that light which was so beautiful. But because body-conscious human beings could not think of anything else, they thought of a bodily being. And that is why they say that the God of Gita is Sri Krishna, but actually it is Krishna, and Krishna means the light, the divine light, which is the most attractive one, the most beautiful one.
Very interesting. We understand that what happens in the Gita is a kind of a dialogue, a dialogue between the soul, let's say, the human being, and the divine, Krishna, God. And anyway, when you have a dialogue, you speak, but it's also important to be able to listen, to grasp what's coming as an answer. And of course, one of the aspects to be able to understand is to know who is God. Otherwise, you just experience this emptiness, like you put all your prayers and you are not really able to grasp the answer, the insight that comes from the other side. But which other preparations do you believe that someone has to do to be able to listen to God's voice, or really to be able to grasp these insights that come from the divine, and that are going to be the basis of your success, or anyway, the basis of your life.
Definitely. The teachings that God had given, definitely he had descended at the time of irreligiousness, as it is mentioned in Gita, that at the time of irreligiousness I descend to abolish irreligiousness from this world and to establish one religion. That was his purpose of coming to this world. And when he saw that in each and every families, each and every house, each and every soul is struggling in life. So that struggling part is shown in the form of Arjuna, who was also struggling. From childhood, they were all struggling. The Pandavas were struggling. So it is seen that when each and every soul of this world is constantly struggling in life, and they are not able to make the right choices, and they are pulled by irreligiousness towards them. So that is when he also has to descend on this earth. But how would he come? He would not come in the most attractive form like Sri Krishna, because if he would adopt a most attractive form like Sri Krishna, and he would come down and start give knowledge in the form of Sri Krishna, people of this world would say, please, we don't want to listen to your knowledge. Can we just have a selfie? Can we have a photo with you? They would never allow him to do his task. So that is why it is mentioned in the 7th chapter of Gita that I come in the most ordinary form. And when I come in that, when I adopt that ordinary form, human beings who are body conscious, ego conscious, they laugh at me. They're not able to recognize my divine form because of ignorance, because of their ego. They're not able to recognize me. Only a few out of millions. And from those few also, there are very few who actually understand who I am, and what are my teachings. Because if I want to establish one religion, then naturally there can't be so much of population in that new world also. It has to be limited. Then only that new world order can be established. The heavenly kingdom can be established. So when he comes, he establishes that heavenly order, that heavenly kingdom. So that is why he has to take a most ordinary form. And the ordinary form is of a human being. So that is why those who are ego conscious, body conscious, they are not able to recognize him. To recognize God is on the basis of the knowledge that he's imparting. So when he imparts knowledge, human beings needs to have this listening ability also. But in today's age, they are so busy, they are so caught up in their own web that they are not able to have that patience to listen to what the God's message is, what the Supreme Father's message is. And that is why those souls, they turn around. Actually, the message will go throughout the world to each and every soul, so that nobody can ever say or complain to God, I was not fortunate to receive that message. So that is why the message has to go, whether it may go through media, television, maybe it can go through social media, through various things that is shown up in the social media today. various Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever way it can go out, it will reach to each and every human being. But those who are ego consciousness, body consciousness, they turn around and they feel we don't have time to waste behind these spiritual messages and behind this God's messages. Who has seen him? Who has known him? So they turn around. But only a few listen, have that patience, listen patiently to what is being said, what the message of God is. How can we be victorious in every struggle of life? And how we can experience the connection between God and our souls. How can we experience that closeness with God? How can we take the benefit of that highest knowledge, that wisdom that is being imparted, and apply that in our practical lives so that we can be victorious? We create our lives on the basis of it. So Gita is not just a scripture that is to be read. It is a scripture to be implemented in practical lives, which gives us solutions, which gives us those values that are essential to win the battle of life. That is Gita, the song of the divine. Gita means the Geet. Geet means the song of the divine, which is sung by him. So that is how we need to bring those values which enable us to be victorious in this complicated world and the complicated matters that we have to go through and deal with, and the challenges that we are going through. So that is where Gita intervenes in our life, teaches us the art of living, teaches us how to be victorious in every battle of our life, in every segment of our life.
You just mentioned about the battle of life, because we know also that the Gita happens in the battlefield. No, that's the place where it happens. No, and so this battlefield, is it an internal battle, like the battle that goes on inside ourselves between the goodness and the good and the evil, or is it an external battle? Because at the same time, we see that the world is passing through so many dramatic situations. No, we are seeing this unending war going on, and there are so much fear of what is going to happen through this. And so when is the time in which the Gita happens? And is it an internal battle, or it refers to an external battle? Let's say, no, that it's happening in the world outside.
Actually, it is referring to both the battles. It is referring to both the battles. How? One is because it is mentioned that the battle took place in Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra, Kshetra means field, and Kuru means to do. The field where we have to do, that is Karma Kshetra. That is the field of action, when human beings are in action. So it is an external battle as well in our day-to-day life. We have to go through many challenges. We have to overcome so many obstacles. And so we have to fight with those challenges. We have to literally battle with that also. We have to struggle with them. We have to struggle with human beings also. We have to struggle with so many other things also. Situations practically. We have to struggle with the challenges. So it is where a human being, when he is on the field of action and is struggling in life to be victorious in each and every challenge that comes in front of you, in each and every obstacle, in each and every problem that he's facing. And then there is another battle which is inside the mind, which one is going through, between good and evil. Every moment he has to make a choice, whether I have to pick up the good part or whether I have to pick up the evil part. He has to make a choice. And every time when he is making this choice, and he is not able to understand, sometimes confused, like Arjun. He becomes nervous. He becomes depressed, becomes stressed, confused. So there is one battle which is going inside and the other battle which is going outside. And every human being on this field of action has to go through these battles. So it is not a physical war-like battle, which is shown in Bhagavad Gita and the Mahabharata, that there were two big armies and this and that. Not in that way, but every human being inside, when they go through a great battle, when they are nervous, when they are depressed, when they are under stress, good and evil, there is a battle going inside. Good and evil. Which path should I adopt? Which one to take up? And outside also, when he's on the field of action, he's fighting with situations, he's fighting with problems, he's fighting with obstacles, trying to overcome them. So one is at the subtle level, other is at the gross level also.
Very clear.
But in this war, it does not mean that we are doing violence, like it is shown in the Mahabharata war, that that was a violent war which killed so many people. No, not that way. It is not a violent war, but God says you have to adopt a non-violent attitude to win over this bad, to win over this evil, and to be successful.
Usha Didi, you have mentioned before about this connection that can happen between the human being, the soul, and this supreme energy, which is God. And I believe that that is very much connected with the real meaning of Raja Yoga. Would you like
Yes.
to explain what is Raja Yoga and how someone can practice it in a daily, day-to-day context in which you have to go to work and you have to take care of your family? How can you incorporate this practice in your life?
Well, I would say that the simple meaning of yoga is connection. Just as Viyoga in Hindi means separation. So yoga means connection. Now, there are connections at various levels. Human beings are connected with human beings. Human beings are connected with materialistic things, many comforts. Human beings are connected with time. Human beings are connected with the Supreme also, in some way or the other, either through their prayers, either in their minds. They may not be going to regular temples or churches, but in their mind, in their hearts, they feel as if, let me remember him for a few moments also, and then begin my day. So each and every one is connected. Some may call it God, some may call it energy, some may call it a superpower. But everyone is connected. Now, during the day, during the daily routine, We are either connected with human beings, we are either connected with time, we are either connected with materialistic comforts, we are either connected with our work, we are either connected with our families. We are connected somewhere or the other with someone or the other. Now, when a person is at work, supposing, and is trying to work on the computer, he is doing his work, but subtly, at the subtle level, internally, he is communicating with someone, maybe with his family, maybe with his wife or husband or children, somewhere. His mind is connected. He cannot say, no, I'm just connected with my work and I remember no one else. No, even while he's connected with his work, subtly he's connected somewhere or the other. Now, when we say Raj Yoga means the Supreme Yoga. Connecting yourself with the Supreme Power, the Supreme Being. And so while I'm doing my work, I can connect myself because I'm habituated to connecting myself with someone or the other. Isn't it? So when I have this practice now, I just need to bring a shift in my consciousness. And when I bring this shift and I realize, I become aware that yes, I'm also a spiritual energy. And he is also the source of spiritual energy. So that makes me get connected with him. Just as a teacher and a student, even though he is playing on the ground, maybe with his friends, but internally is connected with his teacher. The teacher has given me this homework. I have not done this homework. I need to do this. So somewhere inside it is going on. If I don't do this homework, my teacher is going to punish me tomorrow morning. So internally, he is playing with his friends, but he is connected with his teacher. Isn't it? Similarly, a person may be at work, but he realizes, oh, my wife had given me this time. If I don't reach on time, she will get upset with me. Isn't it? Somewhere we are connected. Even though we are doing our work, we are conscious of the time also, we are conscious of the person. And when I think I'm a husband or I'm a wife, and I'm connected to my other half, then this is the relationship. Relationship enables us to get connected. Similarly, with the Supreme also, even I'm doing my work, but if I get connected with that Supreme, that is my father, is my mother, is my Supreme teacher, he who teaches me, is my preceptor, he is my friend, take him as a friend also. Or any relationship which you may be missing in your life, you can connect it with him. Or maybe you adhere so much to that relationship, you can connect it with him. So when I consider myself as a spiritual energy, and he's also the source of spiritual energy, I can easily get connected with him. That is Raj Yoga. Raj Yoga does not mean that you need to take out some special time, go somewhere in the woods, in a solitude place, and then only you can get connected with him. No. You can easily get connected even while you're doing work, even while you are performing whatever your activities are. And at a subtle level, you can easily remember him also. And we don't have to ask anything from him. Oh God, give me power. Oh God, give me strength. No. The moment there is a relationship established, he fulfills that relationship with honesty. So when I also fulfill that relationship with honesty, he also fulfilled that relationship with honesty, then I don't need to ask for help. The help naturally comes. That gives me the experience. That is the experience of meditation, of Raj Yoga.
Excellent. Actually, we are coming close to the end of our meeting. And of course, I would love to invite you to guide us in a little experience of this divine meeting, which is Raja Yoga. Would you be happy to do it?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I always love this because the relationship that I have established with the the supreme power, the supreme source is of a brother and sister. I like him as my brother. In my practical life, this was the relationship I was always missing. We are three sisters and we didn't have a brother, so I always felt the missing relationship of a brother. So I always remember him as my brother and I always feel he's by my side every time, guiding me as an elder brother and protecting me every moment, every step. And wherever I make a mistake, he may pull my ears also sometimes, but at the same time, guide me also and put me on the right path. So I love this way of being with him. And so let us remember him. It is so beautiful. But first of all, I would tell you that let us make the mind prepared for it. And with the inner eye, let us visualize ourselves as point of divine light. And this body is just a costume that I've put on to play my role in this world. But I am separate from this costume. I am a conscient entity with the inner eye. Let us visualize ourselves as the conscient entity, the spiritual energy. In the center of the forehead, a sparkling star, divine star. With my inner eye, I see myself in my original, true, transcendental nature and realize I am a pure being, constantly radiating pure light, which is like an aura around me. I realize my true nature. I am a peaceful being. Peace is my true self. I am peace. Gradually, my mind and my thoughts are calming down. I can feel the vibrations of peace around me. There is immense happiness and joy being in this peaceful state. This is my true nature. I'm a happy being, a joyful being. I constantly radiate the vibrations of joy and happiness. Slowly, I turn my attention towards the higher source, the Supreme Being. Who is my father, my mother, my supreme teacher, my guide, my brother, and a friend, a beloved. I can pick up whichever relationship I wish to establish with him. And he's the ocean of love, whose love naturally flows. Who's so loving, whose love is unconditional. And at every step, he's by my side, guiding me, giving me the true understanding of life. Who teaches me how to be in this world of challenges. And apply the wisdom to become victorious, successful in whatever we do. And as I apply it, I get the results. So positive. It changes my complete attitude from ego conscious, body conscious, to soul conscious, where I feel so light. This connection gives me the inner strength and power to be in this world of problems. To be with each and every one and function on the basis of values. It seems difficult, but it's not at all difficult. As soon as I start applying it, everything becomes so easy, so natural. So that supreme light is by my side, my ray of hope. Every step that I take is my friend, philosopher, and guide. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, dear Usha Didi, for sharing with us all your wisdom and all your personal discoveries and so many practical tips. And I hope we can be together again.
Sure.
Also, would you like to thank for all those who are watching us and are taking benefit from Sister Usha for her time and all her experience. And if you find it's interesting in terms of your personal journey, you can subscribe to the channel, and so that you can receive all the news about the next meetings, and also share with your friends and other people who can take benefit as well. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.